Good morning. Is anybody here? Let me know who's visiting today. Oh, we have 8 people on. Let me know where you're from. Go over to the live chat and let me know where you're from. And are you ready? Ooh, are you ready? Mm, I've got my tea. So this is my new cup I got this year uh, from Carrie, who's my stepdaughter. She was 3 when I first met her. Yeah, she's maybe 38, 39 now. I can't remember. Anyway, um, she is, good morning, Paula. She has 2 little stepchildren herself, which is kind of cool. And last year she bought me a mug. And oh, hi, Kim from Atlanta. She got me a mug last year, which was lovely. I love it. I use it all the time. You may have seen it a few times on the show. Or listen to me on the show, on the podcast. And it's a really big, tall, thin cup, and it says "off I'm knitting." So I had to keep putting my finger over the. Hang on, sorry, I got to turn my ringer off on my phone so that. So that I can see what's going on. Who else we got here? Hi, Carol. Hi, Gina. Lovely that you joined us. Anyway, so I was telling you about the cup. So this year she got me a cup I could use on my podcast, which is of her stepkids. So, which is kind of cool. So, yeah. So, are we all ready to start our socks? Good morning, Michelle. I wanted to quickly, before we start casting on, because you know how much I rabbit, do you remember this hat that I made out of some minis? So here's another idea to use up your Christmas minis. And it's got a lovely little lace pattern along here. And it's using the fingering weight yarn double. Good morning, Beverly. Good morning, Helen. Oh, from Oz. Oh, Fort Worth, Texas. Ooh, we're from all over today. And this I made, so you hold it double. And it's a knit vent hat from Helen Stewart. And let me see, I think what it was called. I'll show you. But hello, Nana Betty. Hi, Linda. Oh my God, you're coming to have a look. Excellent. So it is called the Medley hat from Helen Stewart. So I made that from the knit vent this year. This is my hat, and I love it. It's super nice. Covers my ears and everything. Can you hear my hearing aid? So my son saw it, decided he wanted one. So I made one for him, but I did his all in one color. So, because he wanted black, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like knitting black. So this is the one I made for him, and it's the same size, believe it or not. But again, it's lovely, and it covers your head. So anyway, I made that for him, and I used a sock yarn. Okay, now I don't even know if you can see. Is that backwards to you? Wait, I'm trying to find the camera. There. So this is the sock yarn I used, and I did something different. I bought 2 50-gram balls, and I'm not kidding you. This is what I've left. And this one I pulled from inside. Hello, Heather. Oh, it's Heather. So this one I pulled from inside. And this one I went from the outside. Hello, Isabel. And you can see the difference from pulling from the inside, which is one reason I don't typically do pull from the inside, because I hate the way it gets all stretchy and out of shape, whereas this one stays perfect. Now, this is the other really fun thing that I want to tell you about this yarn, this yarn, is it feels like they told me this when I bought it, but I literally wasn't paying attention, obviously, because as I was knitting and this started to get loose, that fell out the middle. Yes, this fell out the middle. And there's one in here too. So it includes 5 grams of reinforcement yarn. So when you get a hole in your sock, hey, this is what you fix it with, or hat in this case. So, yeah, Linda is here. I'm so excited Linda is here. She's from England, and I watch her channel, so go ahead and check out her channel when you get off of this one, of course, of course. And she's oh, look at my hair, dear God. She is from oh, you're gonna love this next thing I wanna show you, Linda. Oh my, I don't even know which there. I'm used to my iPhone. I'm not used to using the laptop. So she's from England, same place I am from originally. And she lives in I think she lives over in the Wirral now. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to show you is 2 things I got for Christmas. I've been dying to show you this. So this came from my cousin, who's more like a sister. And look, what do you think of that, Linda? I love it. And there's like names of songs on here and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, they always say you can take the girl out of Liverpool, but you can't take Liverpool out of the girl. Linda's channel is Linda Simpson Designs. So go check hers out too. And she's also doing a sock along or something, sock challenge, sock it to me challenge. And then this is what my brother sent me. Okay, so the box itself is amazing. Listen to this. Anyway, that's what we sing at the games. But inside was a fabulous calendar that I'm going to put up. I know, it's my favorite song too. I'm going to put this up in my thing here, so it's a nice calendar. But, and he knows how much I love, look, an agenda, a diary, as I call it, and a pen. So this was the best gift I got all Christmas. So anyway, I love this, and it's got all my stuff in. I love it. So it's really cool. I love it. So I was really thrilled to bits with that. But anyway, that was my Christmas stuff that I have been dying to show you and totally forgot about the other day. Oh, hang on a minute. We don't want to hear that all day. Well, I actually could hear that all day, but so the sock along. I am so excited for this. So the sock that we are going to be doing is called the Quilted Stripe Sock, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now I use this for all my socks. I don't print my patterns out. I use this. And I'm sorry, the lights are shining on it. I hope you can see that. These are beautiful socks. They're by Dana Ray Makes, and she is a Canadian. I think she's out of Winnipeg, I think. But I just thought these were a great way to use our minis up that we got for Christmas. Thanks, Linda. And so this is a program that I use, and I'll see if I can get out of here and show you. It's called Knit Companion. So there it is there, Knit Companion. I think you can get it for iOS, which is what I use, Apple products, or you can use it on a regular not Apple, what's the other one? Samsung or any of them. Android, that's the word, Android. And oh yeah, let me just put this up for you because I think I can do this. Yeah, Linda's sock along is called Sock It To Me 2023. So definitely check that out too, and send in our socks to that. So this is on my iPad, and it comes up and you can store all your different patterns on here. It also lets you put cross stitch patterns on, which I do. And but I like it because when you go to, and I'm not going to show you the, um, well, I can show you this page because it's, um, and I can blow it up so that, and it has counters down the side here, so I can tell what row I'm on. I can actually physically write a note on here or type a note to appear at the bottom here. Like, it's a really good program. And because I am a list maker, I'm always writing things down. Hi, Marcia. Oh, you're very welcome. I loved Vlogmas. It was fun. And so I like to write things. I used to have a pad all the time. Oh, can you hear Toby? He's barking. It's the squirrel. I used to write things down all the time on notepads, and I'd have notepads everywhere. But this is great because if I want to go, whatever notes I've made on this, when I go back, it's called Knit Companion. Let me see. I can, oh, I think I can write in here. It's called Knit Companion, and it's $26 a year. Sorry, I just pay for it every year at the start of January, and it's good for a year, and I can use it over and over and over. And it's super handy because you can write notes on. Like I said, you can use one of them funny pen things. Oh, can you do that too? Because you can have a free trial, but I think. Oh, hi, Jasmine. I think, Isabel, you're only allowed so many projects, are you not, with the free one? That's why I bought the the main one, because of course I have like way too many to keep, and it also I can use it on all my other devices too. So it's a good one to get. So I have got my trusty. I'm using a new bag. So what do you think of this one? This is my Netherwood bag that I make. And it was in the shop, but I took it out of the shop because I liked it because it's purple. And these have little gold things in them. Aren't they cute? And so I've got all my yarns in here. Look at that. All 5 of the yarns are in here, and my needles, and my stitch markers that I'm going to use. Now, Linda, don't look a minute, hon. Look away. Because these are the stitch markers I'm going to use. So I love the round ring ones that you can use on when you're doing the gusset, and you can slip them on and they're on either side. And then of course the one in the middle is the progress keeper, which of course is my little Toby. So, because Toby is my dog, which is where the name Tobyknits came from. And yes, so those are what I'm going to use. I've got my little pair of scissors. I love these little stork scissors, and you can take these on airplanes. When I was going to San Francisco to meet my dad, I had them, and the guy, you know, when you go through the security, which is what terrifies me the most about going on a plane, because I'm British, right? And I don't have my Canadian citizenship. I've lived here 40 years and I do not have my Canadian citizenship. But I obviously travel on a British passport, but I have an IM card, an immigration card too. And so I'm always terrified they're going to stop me or say some weird things to me at the airport because, you know, anyway, you know, they're Americans. What can I tell you? And so I take these because they're my smallest ones. And the guy was so cute. He of course he looked through my knitting bag and he was like, "What are these?" And he kind of took them out, and I'm like, "Well, they're scissors to cut my yarn," you know. So he thought that was hilarious. He just loved them. But these are storks. So I've got my scissors, got my pattern, and my needles. So in our instructions, it says that the pattern comes in 3 adult sizes. So the way I work out my sock patterns is I No, I'm a medium, which is casting on 64 stitches. If you have a small foot, so say like a 5 or 6 in shoe size, that would be the 56. If you are like a 7 to 8, which is what I am, that would be the 64. And the larger 8, 9, which is usually what I do for my husband, is 72, I think it is. So those are our 3 sizes. And we've got all our yarn. And she does say that to cast on, if you are a loose knitter, which I am, she says to cast on with the 2.25. So I'm going to use my higher sharps. No, I'm not. I'm going to use my Knitter's Pride. No, I'm not. I am going to use my higher sharp in 2.25. And then when we get after the rib, I'm going to switch to the 2.5 because we're going to do slip stitches, which she says tends to, you know, I can't see where she wrote it now, but that's what we're going to do. So I've got my higher sharp and my first color. So my first color, is this one. And these are yarns that were dyed by Ellie of Craft House Magic in the UK. I love Ellie's stuff. And this one was called Promise Me, because she has names for them all. And oh, you're welcome, Jasmine. Yeah, and that's the great thing about sock knitting too. You can cast on with a smaller size than if you want a nice tight rib, and then you can go to the biggest size, the next size for your feet. Anyway, this is called Promise Me by Beverly Craven from 1990. I've never heard of that song, but she names them all after songs. And this was number 17 in my Advent. So this is what I am starting with. So I am going to cast on the desired number of stitches, and I'm doing a long tail cast on. Oh, and these are in my shop, by the way, if you did want some. I think I have some left, and I can probably make some more. So when I do a long tail cast on, what I typically do is I pinch and count. So I need 64. So I'm going to start here, pinch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, when I've got to 20, and I know this is 20, and I know I need 60, so I'm going to grab this end and pull it to the yarn here from the thing. So there's now 40. It's just easier, quicker. Turn it round, and now I've got 60, and then I need 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to add a bit because I just want to make sure I've got enough. So I'll add another 4 or 5 and then put my slip knot. Another great tool to help you find your size of your knitting is this. Now, I absolutely love this. I believe it's Canadian, and it's from Burning Impressions, and it's called Sockies. And what you do with this, which is super cool, look at the back. Isn't that gorgeous? I absolutely love it. So what you do with this is you put this against the wall, and then you put your foot on it up against the wall, and it will tell you what your size is. And it's got little, so if you're doing babies, big kids, hers and his. And when I put mine on, mine comes to 9.5, which is supposed to be your shoe size, which is 7, which is me. So this is perfect. And then when you're knitting, what you can do with this is, as you're knitting, it's great for toe up, but I use it the other way as well, is you put it in your sock as you're knitting, and you can tell where you're up to before you need to do your toe. because I know that I'm at 9.5. So typically toes start doing the whole decrease thing 1.5 to 2 inches before the end of your length. So once I put this in and I can measure it, I can see where I'm going. So this is a really good buy. And I will, after this episode, I'll find a link to them and I'll put it in the show notes afterwards. So I am going to do a long tail cast on. So I have my tail on this side and my yarn is on the other. Now, let's get going. You all know how to do a long tail cast on, right? If I knew how to make my second camera work, which we all know it didn't work when we were doing the dishcloth, then I would show it you. But I basically go under the loop on the thumb, over the loop in the middle, under the loop on the other side, and back through. And that gives me my stitch. So 2, 4, 6, 7. There's lots of videos on YouTube, though, of how to do the long tail cast on. Of course, you can do the other cast on. When I first learned to knit, I lived in Liverpool, and next door to me was my nan, and she taught me to knit. My mum was left-handed, so my mum couldn't teach my grandmother couldn't teach my mum how to knit. So lucky me, I got to be taught. And I think I'm the only one in my family who knits. Of all my loads of cousins, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. But I love knitting. So 2, 4, where are we? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. So what colors are you starting with? Tell me all your colors, ladies. I saw Michelle. She posted in our Tobyknits Facebook group, which is for all of us on the podcast here. So if you're not a member, go over and join. Again, I'll leave a link after this to where it is, but it's just called Tobyknits and Friends. And it is for us to share all of our works, because you get to see what I'm doing, but I don't get to see what you're doing. So I want to see all your stuff. And there's already been some fabulous projects put in there this morning. This yarn's a bit fluffy. So go over and check it out and leave me some pictures of the colors you're working on. So I never did tell you. I think I started to tell you. Oh yeah, let's just before I tell you the silly story about New York. What did you all guys get up to for New Year's? We didn't do anything. I was telling you that New Year's used to be big for me when I was a kid growing up in England. Oh, yes, that's okay, Isabel. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. You knit whatever you want to knit, work on whatever you can sew, you can knit. We're just here to have a chat. We growing up in England, New Year's was always big for me and our family, and we used to have a lot of fun. And then when I came to Canada, nobody really did anything. I was very upset, but now it's so I was in bed at 9:30. I don't think I've ever been to bed that early. We used to just make ourselves stay up, my husband and I, once the kids had all left home. The Polka Dot Creek Autumn Mini Set. Oh, that sounds awesome. Ooh. So yeah, we used to make ourselves stay up once the boys had all left home and we weren't having stuff going on, just so that we could watch the countdown and, and watch the ball drop in New York and all that. And this year I was like, I am just not even going to bother. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So that's what we did. It was kind of boring, but all the better for the next morning. And Tristan came over. My son Andrew brought Tristan, my 2.5-year-old grandson, over. New Year's Day, and my little T-man let the new year in for me. So he was my first visitor of the year, and yeah, so that was fun. We had a lot of fun sitting on the couch. He well, okay, so I tend to like chocolate. Okay, who doesn't like chocolate? Come on, come on. And one of my favorites is Smarties. And he apparently now likes farties too, because that's what he calls them. And so he, as soon as he walks in the door, he looks at me and says, Nana, farties. Like, Justin, you can't have Smarties at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, we got some little messages here. Let's see. What did Kim do? Kim had a sleepover with her grown kid. Oh, nice. Watched American football. Oh, yeah. Thank you for clarifying. It's American football, which we won by a point. Oh, cool. Who's your team? Who's your college team that you follow? That was really nice. And oh, oh, look at that. Pam is on a track between Baden, Germany, and Arnhem. And what is that? Oh, Netherlands. Burning Impressions. I have the same sockies. Oh, good. Megan is a friend from my hometown. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, she's awesome. I love her stuff. And oh, Michelle made it up until 10 o'clock. What are we like, eh? And Heather is making the rice sauce. Oh, those are nice. I love tin can knit stuff too. I have the flax sweater that I made for me, and I'm making one for Tristan. Toby wants to say hello. And Georgia Bulldogs. Oh, I'll have to check them out. I don't know them. And Marcia is knitting toe-up socks. Oh, so we'll be reversing the chart. Oh, let me know how that goes. And we'll be using scraps, but have not decided yet. Oh, yeah, I'm still working on my twists and turns. Where are you up to with that? I think I'm on the last stage, but I'm just doing that one wing. So, are you finished saying hello now, Toby? We had a big episode this morning because there's a squirrel that lives in my tree, in my cedar. Remember the ones that all came down? Well, some of them that came down. And vanilla socks at the moment. Oh, yeah. Linda makes so many pairs of socks and projects. I watched your video yesterday of, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, of all the stuff that you're planning on making and that. And I was like, oh. Okay, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, there was a squirrel, and he lives in the tree, in the cedars in front of my house, and he torments the life out of Toby because it's a little red squirrel. He doesn't care about the black ones or the gray ones, but the little red ones are tiny. They're a bit bigger than a chipmunk. And anyway, he this little red squirrel torments him to death. He knows Toby's looking at him out the window. So, but we lost some of the cedars. So I don't know if his nest fell down when we had the big snowstorm last week. I got to count. And 6. Okay, I've lost count. Okay. So, yeah, we lost some of our cedars. And I don't know if his nest was there or not, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Oh, I think I've got more than I need on this needle. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Oh, I do. I have way more than I need. I have to pull some off. I only need 64. Okay, push that up. See what happens when I talk too much? Okay. 2, 4. So let me count them one more time to make sure that I have 64. This lovely color, this yarn. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6. I keep getting to the 8 and then my fingers miss it. 2, 6, 8, 10, 16, 18, 20. 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now I'm there, 64. One more to get off. Okay, and I've got all that left. Which is all tangled up. So I'm now going to trim that. It's always better to have too much than not enough. Right? Right. So I'm doing 64, and that was 64. Okay, let's cut that off. Now what I'm going to do is I've got all my 64 on my lovely big long needle. I'm going to pull it down so it's on the cable part, and I'm going to find the middle. So I'm rubbish at math. So what is half of 64? Somebody tell me what half of 64 is. Is it 16 or 18? I think it's 16, isn't it? No, it's not. Of course it's not. 32, right? 32. Is it 32? 64? 32. Thanks, Isabel. Thanks, Waller. I am absolutely rubbish at math. So now I have to find 32. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2. So now, I don't know if you can see that. There is the middle. So now I'm going to bend my cable and pull the cable there. You started yours at 4 o'clock this morning? Oh, clue 4. God, I thought you meant you started knitting at 4 o'clock this morning. So then I pull, and then I stick them both onto the needles. It's always a bit stiff at the first go, depending on how you cast on, if you're loose or tight, and because I wasn't paying any attention and added more than I needed. So I want to make sure that, I hate cables that get all twisty like this. Pull my yarn out. That I want to make sure that the needle with the yarn is at the back, and then the needle with the cast on, without the cast on, is at the front. And I want to make sure that all of my bumps are facing each other. They're kissing. So that way they're not going to twist. Now, here's another way to help you not have a jog, is to actually cast on one more stitch than you need. No, onto the other needle. That's right, onto the other needle. So onto your first needle, cast on an extra stitch. Come on. Get it the right way around. This is how I do it anyway. I don't know if it's the right way. But I cast on, so I'm pulling them together like that. So I've got all my bumps. I've got an extra one from the cast on tail over on this side on my front needle. And now we are going to knit 2x2 rib. So what I do with the first one, I'm going to pull my back needle out like that. and the stitches are not lost. They're all on the cable. And then I'm going to knit the first 2 together because that's the extra cast on one that we had, if you know what I mean. And that will help the jog at the beginning, she says. Hopefully. Where is my yarn now? It's all tangled up. There we go. I'm going to hold that and knit these first 2 together. That's how I do my cast on to help alleviate the jog. And then we'll just do our rib for all of our rounds. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to tell you the story. I meant to tell you this when I did the dishcloth thing, and I forgot. When I went to New York with my dad and my brother and my husband. So my dad, who is 90 now, when my mom and dad and brother used to come over every year, and we would meet them somewhere, sometimes twice a year. And we would meet them in places like New York City in November, because my birthday is in November. So is my brother's. So we would all meet up in sometime in November in New York City and just be together. They flew from England because that's where they live, and so we would meet up, and then sometimes we went to what was the other places we've been? Boston. We went to Boston one year. Another year we went to Las Vegas. We went there a few times actually. My dad really likes Vegas, and of course it is nice and warm there. And this year we went to San Francisco. Now, when my mom passed away, which was 9 years ago, and that was a horrible, horrible episode, a horrible thing. She was 80, and yeah, that wasn't nice. Um, I didn't know if my dad would still want to go and do all this stuff, but he's actually still very keen to do it, and he can still travel. So hey, anyway, so one year, a couple of years ago, we went to New York City, and I had said to my dad that I wanted to go to a yarn shop, and there was a yarn shop in New York City called Pearl Soho. So now I've finished that, and I'm going to turn my needle, and then I'm going to pull this end of the needle, of the cord, to get this one back on. And then I'm going to get you out the way. Pull this out and do the same on the back needle, which now is the front needle. Are you confused? So anyway, we decided we would go to Pearl Soho and always tug that second one a little harder because that will help with the jog. So we had to get on a train, and my dad at this point is now walking with a cane because he's not that steady on his feet, and has a hard time getting up and down out of a chair. Usually requires help, but will not have it. So we just have to all stand on either side of him while he struggles to get up. And anyway, so off we go to find Pearl Soho because he's going to buy me some knitting needles when we get there, he says, for my birthday. So we get on the train, on the tube, and of course, the first part of it, I don't mean to laugh at my dad. I really don't. But I mean, oh, he's just such a lovely, funny guy. He doesn't realize he's doing stuff. So we get on the train. We get to the train station. And of course, we're all trying to figure out which line we're going, because you know what New York City is like for all the different colored lines and that. It's a bit like the tube station in England, but it's I don't know, it's just more complicated. There's more people. So we figured out which we wanted. And then, of course, there's no place we can buy tickets anymore. Everything is these bloody machines in the wall. So we go to the machine to get our tickets, and we're all standing there like for 10 minutes trying to read all the instructions and how we get the ticket out. So we get the ticket out, and you all know how fast I read, right? So, of course, I'm already annoyed because everybody's taken so long to understand what we're supposed to do. And I've already figured it out, but they're not listening to me, are they? No. So we get um, the tickets, and we go over to the to the I don't even know what you call them, but you have to go through the barriers, right? And you have to scan your ticket, and it sucks the ticket in or something, and then you go through. Well, I get through, Bob gets through, my dad and my brother are still on the other side. My dad comes up to put his ticket in, puts his ticket in, and doesn't move. And by the time we're all yelling at him, walk forward, it'll move when you walk forward. By the time he walks forward, it's locked. And so now they have to go buy another ticket. So, so they go buy another. So we're waiting. Anyway, they come through this time. I think my brother pushed him through. I can't remember. So we get into the other side, and we get on the train, so we know where we're going, and we're all like, what stop is it? How many stops? And there's stuff on up on the that you can look up on the thing to see like where the line goes and all the rest of it. So we're looking up there, and Bob says, "I think this is the stop." So he gets up, and I'm thinking, I don't know if that is the stop. I think it's the next one. But of course, nobody's listening to me again. So Bob, we all start to get up, and of course, like I say, Bob's got up and he's gone to the front of the thing. I'm trying to get my dad up, who doesn't want me to help him. So we're both standing there. By the time my dad gets up, the doors have opened now. Everybody's starting to walk outside, get off the train. Bob has got off the train. We're coming up to the doors to get off the train. The doors close, and off we go to the next station. And Bob is standing on the bus. Oh my god. Well, as you can tell, I was already laughing. I start to laugh, and oh my god, like I'm not paying attention. I got too many. Oh, I'm on a knit. What am I doing here? Stop talking and knit, pearl, knit, pearl. Oh, was that the pearls? No, I feel like that wasn't it. So we're zoom. I start laughing. My dad is like, "What? What's happening? What's going on?" My brother is like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "Well, we just have to get off at the next station." And so then, thank God for cell phones. Oh God, I'm crying. Thank God for cell phones because at least we had a cell phone at this point because it was only about 4 or 5 years. It was 5 years ago. So we had a cell phone. So at least we could talk. I could phone Bob and say, "What should we do? Should we get off? Or are you coming to us? Should we meet you?" So I think we got off, and it turned out the station we got off at was the right one. Bob had got off the wrong one. And so we just waited for him to come and to join us. Oh my god, it was so funny, but I could not stop laughing, and I laughed for ages about it. I really did. Knit two, pearl two, two. There was a pearl twos. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, and that was my story for the knit wherever we were, and it was so funny. Bob didn't think it was funny, but I did. And yeah, so then we went to Pearl Soho and we got some yarn, and I got some, and of course my dad and my brother and Bob are just like standing by the doorway, like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" No, I needed to make the most of it while I was in there because so funny. It really was. My poor dad. So when we were in San Francisco, I was like, "I wonder if there's any yarn shops." And Bob's like, "No, we're not going." So, yeah. Anyway, because I love going to yarn shops and finding um, hand-dyed yarn, a local hand-dyed yarn, and then typically what I do with it is oh my god, you know what? That's just taking me all this time to do one row, one round. That's because 'cause I'm talking too much. Um, so yeah, I love going and getting some, some, hand-dyed yarns, local hand-dyed yarns, as I like to call them. Um, yeah, so I've done 1 round. How many rounds have you all done? I'm usually faster than this, but I am talking too much right now. So you can see my jog, my joining, it's not that bad because I did that extra stitch and helped it over. So, round 2. So, yes, and, uh, this is all tangled up again. Toby, nobody's there. It's just mommy talking. He was asleep under the table. God knows what he's just done now. Gone upstairs. Yeah, so do you have any funny stories like that where you've gone somewhere? Oh, honestly, it was the funniest thing. My dad is so funny. Like, he doesn't mean to be, just is. There was another time, I hope he's not watching this. There was another time where when we had gone over to England with Andrew when he was a baby. Uh, so, God, this is like 30 something odd years ago now. And we had a little car seat for him that they rented or something. And we put it in the back of the car. And me and Bob are sitting in the back of the car. And my mom and dad were in the front. And we're going to go over to the Wirral. And because um, that's one of my favorite places that we lived. Like, my dad worked for a department store when I was growing up. He was a display manager. So he remember when department stores had windows in the front and you'd see all what was my dad would display all the windows. That's what he did. And w- we lived in Liverpool till I was 10, and he worked at Owen Owens in Liverpool. And then we moved down to Southampton when I was 10, and because he got transferred, and we lived down there for 5 years. And then that's when I learned how to pick language accents up and could copy people. And my mom said after being in Southampton for 2 days, I talked like a Southerner more than I did for someone from Liverpool. But then we moved back up and we moved back to the Wirral and we lived in Heswell, which I loved Heswell. And we lived there for, gosh, I don't know, a bunch of years, quite a few years. And then where did we go? Then we moved down to Bristol, and we lived in Bristol for in a little village called Wick, and we lived there for a bunch of years. Then I left home and I got a flat in Bath because it wasn't Wick wasn't far from. It was in between Bath and Bristol, and then so I had an apartment, a flat in Bath when I was 18, and then I met a guy and I moved to Gloucester for a couple of years. By this time, my parents had moved to Melksham, and then I moved back with them for a bit when stuff went not so good, and then I came to Canada, and my parents moved a few more times after that, and I finally settled in once my dad retired. They settled in just outside Swindon. So we moved a lot. And so every time I would go home to England, I often wanted to go back and see some of the places I used to live. And I wanted to show Bob some of the places. So, of course, all my family, the rest of my aunts, uncles, everybody, they live up in, still live up in Liverpool. So we always go to Liverpool when I go home and spend a couple of days up there. And there's always a party of some kind, which is, fun. And so we were up there, and I wanted to go one of these days. I wanted to go over to Heswell. I wanted to show him the high school I went to, um, Pensby Girls, and where we lived and all the rest of it. And Heswell's a nice little village. So we go over, and you have to get to it, you have to go under the Mersey Tunnel, which is a tunnel that they built. There's two of them, I think. And they built them to go underneath the River Mersey, so you didn't have to go over or around. It's a quicker way to get there. And it's just a tunnel. And I used to love going through the tunnel. Okay, wait, now I'm not paying attention. Okay. And yeah, I used to love going through the tunnel when I was a kid. So, and of course, back in the day, there used to be a guy that would stand, or not stand. They were in little booths, little toll booths, and you would pay him, and you would go on through, and that's how you got through to your to go on the road. And once you were in your lane, you had to stay in your lane. There was no overtaking inside the tunnel because it was pretty narrow. So this particular time we go, and my dad's all excited to explain to us how it's a new system that you go in now, and there's no man anymore manning the booths. It's all gone, whatever you call that word. And so as you go through, there's like a big bucket, and you have to have change. You can't go through with, I guess there's no change machine, and you have to throw the change into this bucket, and then it, I don't know, must go by weight or something, and it will lift the bar, and you just keep driving. So there's no stopping and starting, right? So my dad's all excited to tell us this and show us this. So, automated, that's the word. Thanks, Nana. So as he's going through, and he's coming up to it, he's like all showing off and telling us all about it. And he opens his window, and he throws his money. And all you hear my dad say is, "Missed." Yes, that's exactly what happened. And of course now my dad has to stop the car and get out and pick the money up. And all the other cars behind him now are stopped. Well, nobody in the car, nobody says a word. My mom and I cannot look at each other. She's looking out the window, and I'm looking out this window. And I can't, because I can't look at each other, because I know full well that we're gonna start laughing. And all I can see from my mom in the front seat is, because her shoulders go, because she's starting to laugh. "Oh, bye, Linda. Lovely to see you, hon. Yes, hopefully I'll be on Wednesday. I do have Tristan, but I'll see if I can still get on." But yeah, so oh my gosh, of course we ended up laughing. There was no way we could all hold it in. And then my dad got back in the car and put the money in, and off we went. It was so funny. It's just we was showing off about this new automated system, that he gets it. Oh, laughed about that so many times. So many times. I know. If you look at each other, it's terrible. Yeah, so that was a fun memory. Fun memory. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Did some homework yesterday, since this was my first German twist cast on and using Greenway. I'm using the Addy tubular 10-inch circuit. I am now on round 11. You're on round 11. I'm only on round 2. Gosh, Paula, that's crazy. That's because I'm talking too much and I'm not paying attention. Well, good for you, though. That's great. I don't even know, is the German twisted cast on the same as the longtail cast on? I don't know if it is. It's so funny because when I first started knitting, like I told you, my nan taught me how to knit. And she taught me the way she knew. And that's that's just how I learned to knit, right? And I didn't know that there was any other way of casting on. And I literally did not know if there was that there was anything else you could do with it. And it wasn't until I learned from my knitting group of the long tail cast on um, that there were different methods of casting on. And I didn't realize that the one I did, the cast on that I was doing is called, I think it's called a cable cast on. So, but I didn't even look to see if the German, I just decided to do my cast on, which is long tail. Ah, okay, yeah, so it is, there must be different names for it, yeah, and the knitted cast on. So is that the same as what they would call the cable cast on then? I'm pretty sure that's the one that where you put one stitch on and then you go behind it and loop it over. That's the one my grandmother taught me anyway. But I think they're just as good as each other. I don't think there's one better than the other. Yeah. Oh, I need a cup of tea. Probably cold. Probably cold, and it is, but that's okay. So all of our snow is melting. We had a huge dump of snow the other day and a horrible storm. My goodness, I thought we were going to lose power, but we didn't. And now, believe it or not, it's warmed up a lot for us. And let me see, what is the temperature? Where's my phone? Let's see. Today is it's 3 degrees, but it feels like 0. And we're going to get rain again in an hour. But so a lot of our snow has melted, which is kind of nice. Oh, that's supposed to be a knit now. Pay attention, Anne. Pay attention to what I'm knitting. Yeah, so I've been so excited to cast on these socks, though. No, the squirrel's out there. Oh, it's all gone quiet. What did they say? It must be 20 past or 22. Except it's not. How long have we been on? Oh my gosh, we've been on an hour already. And I really have no idea how long they let me stay on this thing. I may end up, depending on how many lives I do a month, if you guys like the lives, just comment in the actual comments when we finished here and let me know if you like doing these. I kind of like them because, although I feel like I'm talking to myself, but because it's nice to have an interaction and just have someone to sit and knit with, if you know what I mean. And I'd love to have other people join me so that we can have conversations together that you can all watch. But I think you have to pay for the professional one or whatever it is. And it's not that I'm cheap, it's just that I don't have the money for that just yet. And if I ever get monetized on my channel, maybe I can do that. But oh, yeah, can you hear him, Paula? Because he's up there barking away at the squirrel. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll come down in a minute and tell me. He'll come down and tell me all about it in a minute. He seems to be very upset. Well, and that's what I wanted it to be too, Isabel. I wanted it to be that, like, if you don't have a knit group, you can just sit for an hour, um, and we can talk to each other. What happened? Oh no. Was there somebody out there? Was it somebody walking by? Gosh. Did you tell them they couldn't come? Oh, good boy. Good boy. Okay, get in your bed now then. You're probably all wore out from all that barking. Get in your bed. Um, yeah, and so it's nice to have to feel like you're part of something, to have somebody be able to chat with you. We used to have a great knitting group, and then when COVID sort of started, it all stopped, and we tried to get it back together, but I think people were still we used to go to the library, the local library, and they made us have the window open, and that was really cold. What about Zoom? Oh, yeah. That's another good one we could try. Yeah. I do have a Zoom account too, but I know my husband, and I've never used it much though. My husband and his brothers, when COVID started, my husband's one of five. He's the youngest of five boys, all 15 months apart in age. And they're all over the country. Ransom's loving. He's barking. I hope it's not too loud for all of you guys. So one of his brothers lives not too far from here, like 15-20 minute drive away. His other brother lives in just outside of Toronto. He's got another brother that lives in Petawawa, so they're both Ontario and drivable if we do want to go visit. And one brother lives in Fredericton, who we typically stop and see on our way to see Sean and Megan, who live in Nova Scotia. Oh, I'm glad. Oh, you're a night owl. Oh, I know. I totally know. I love being retired too. And so they started when COVID hit, and because none of us could go anywhere, they started to Zoom with each other every Wednesday night. And they just do it for the 45 minutes that the free version of Zoom lets you do. And they really enjoy it, and it's fun listening to them all laughing and joking, and they still do it now to this day. So yeah, we could maybe try something like that, but it'd be hard work trying to find out the right time zone for everybody. Because although Helen stays up all night, so she'd be fine. Yeah, I don't know how it works exactly for Zoom and how many people can go on. I don't know. I know if you pay for it, it doesn't matter. Oh, good. I'm really glad, Marcia, that you like these lives. I'm going to do them at least once a month, and then one of the other, like every 2 weeks, we're going to get something. So in 2 weeks, we'll just have a regular podcast. So you'll see where I've got to with my socks and my dishcloth and all that. And then 2 weeks later, we'll do another live like this. Hopefully, I do have Tristan, although I get him this week on Wednesday. I don't have him today. Um, and yeah, I get what you're saying, Isabel, because when you have to stop your knitting to type, whereas if we were all on a Zoom and we were all live together, then you could just talk, right? And you don't have to type. You can keep doing it. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that. A way of doing it. I think it'll be more fun. It'll give me more time to do actual knitting so I can show you stuff in between. And, I might do the odd little video like I did for Vlogmas and chuck it in with the podcast one so you can see other stuff that's going on. But I think I'll just do the lives once a month. And it'll be the last Monday of the month. Like I said, I do have Tristan Mondays. for the rest of this month. So I'll have to see if we can do it around him because he's a little bugger. He has a playroom down here too. So when I am down here, he can play, but it's a lot of it is Nana, Nana, Nana. So I'll have to get my husband to assist. But it's only an hour or so, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Isabel. Yeah, and then of course I still am going to be doing my cross stitch because I love cross stitch too. I think I've just messed that up. Oh no, I didn't. Um, so I'm going to be still doing my cross stitch on Wednesdays, and I might try and do a live cross stitch too. It's just a shame I can't get the silly overhead camera thing to work. Okay, why have I got an extra little thing there? Well, I'm just going to knit them two together because I don't even know where that came from. I had an extra stitch. Yeah, I have to figure out how to get the overhead camera to work. I really wanted to do that so you could watch me knit at the same time or cross stitch at the same time as see me, but I can't figure out how to make it work. It's not the camera. The camera plugs into the laptop. So it's not the camera, which is a webcam of some kind. I think it's an issue with Streamlabs and that I couldn't have two cameras unless I paid for it, even though it says you can. But, I'll figure it out. I'll watch a few more Streamlab doodads, YouTube things, and see if we can figure it out. Oh, you're cross stitching now. Good. Well, I'm glad. I still love to do my cross stitch, and I have all kinds of plans still. I need to get my puppies finished for Sean. It'll probably be his birthday present, which is October, and the jungle for Tristan, and then I need to start one for Evelyn for her birth announcement because Leo's got one already, and I want to finish off. I never did finish off the snow globe, which is Tiny Modnists, I think. So I want to do that. So I will be going back to my. Oh, I left my book upstairs because let me see if I can remember. So this is how my evenings are going to go. I usually quilt during the daytime because I can see better in the daylight, and at nighttime I cross stitch or knit because I cannot sit and watch TV and do nothing. I'll fall asleep. And sometimes some of the stuff that we watch is I won't say scary, but if I don't want to see the gory bits, then I will, and knit or cross stitch. So, oh, well, good. Have a nice cup of tea with them, Isabel, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, hon. So what I'm going to do is Monday nights now will be sock knitting. So Mondays tonight I will carry on doing this, and while I watch TV. Tuesday nights is going to be cross stitch now for this year, and it will be puppies. So I'll be working on the puppies cross stitch on Tuesday nights. Wednesday is going to be a whip night. Now that is a freebie for me to decide if I want to do a knitting whip, because of course I have a few of them, or a cross stitch whip, because of course I have a few of them. So I'm just going to leave Wednesday as my choice, but it has to be an older project, not something I'm currently working on. Thursdays is twist and turn, because I have to get back to finish twist and turns off, which is my Stephen West from October. Fridays is cross stitch, and that's always fall on the farm. And I think I'm on number 6, block 6 of that one. I think. It's been so long since I've looked at it, I don't remember. Then, so that's Friday. Saturday is dishcloth. So I'll be knitting my dishcloth on Saturday. And And then Sunday is jungle, which is cross stitch. So that's 3 main cross stitch projects, 3 main knitting projects, and then Wednesdays will be my choice which one I want to work on from my whip pile. And that's my plans for knitting. And if I don't do it that way, if I don't stick to some kind of little schedule and just pick up what I want to do, I never get anything finished. And then I'll keep starting new things. And I don't want to keep starting new things. I need to finish some of these. So how's everybody doing? How many rows has everybody done, or rounds, is whatever we call them? I think I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Oh yeah, yeah. I still love to do that one. That poor thing. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful, and I just, oh yes, and then English paper piecing. Carol, yeah, I definitely want to try that. Oh my, how am I going to fit that in? I'm going to have a look at that this afternoon. I really am. Maybe that can be footy watching. What? Halfway done with the first? You've done the rib and everything? Oh my gosh. I got to catch up. I'm talking too much. I'm not even finished the rib, and they're already on the. Please go over and post some pictures, though, of your progress on my group page, because I think that'd be so much fun to watch, see where you're all up to. And I don't know, I think I might. I hadn't really decided. I know we're just doing this for fun, but I think I might have a giveaway at the end of each month with the finished socks. So you have to finish the socks in order to win the giveaway. And I don't know what that will be yet, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll have a little giveaway. Of course, I have to get my socks finished too. Not that I'll be in the giveaway, but yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun. And I already have an idea for next month's sock. I just have to contact someone to see if they will give a discount on the pattern, like Dana did, which I thought was very, very nice of her. And that pattern, this sock pattern, is available to our group and my YouTube followers for, you get 50% off if you use the code. I'll type the code in for you, and it has to be all capital. So if you, oh, that's Kim's. Let me find mine. There we go. If you type that in when you go to her Ravelry store, and you will get 50% off from Dana for this sock pattern. Yeah, I think that's awesome of her to do that. And she's going to leave that available until, for this pattern, for the striped sock socks, until February. So you got loads of time if you are just tuning in now and have no idea what we're doing and want to join us in our. We should have a hashtag, shouldn't we? What should the hashtag be? Do you prefer how about this? Let me get rid of that for a minute. How about TK for Tobyknits, January, sock cow? What about that? Do you think that'll be, let me see what that looks like if I put it on the screen here. TK, what did I just say? Jan, sock cow. Let me put the hashtag thing too. What does that look like? TK Jan Sock Cow. What do you think? Should we do that and have a so when you're on social media, you can we can type that up and show off our socks that we're all making together. That might be another way for everybody to like be in touch with each other. What do you think? I don't really know how they all work, but yes, Dana does have some great patterns. She's a new designer I literally just found. I mean, I shouldn't say literally just found. That's not right. I have followed Dana on Dana Ray Makes on Instagram for um for ages, a couple of years, because I loved the stuff that she was knitting. What I didn't realize at the time was that she designed sock patterns. I did not know that. And when I saw her post the I'm Here for the Food socks, I fell in love with that pattern right away. And I was super surprised to realize it was her sock pattern. So I bought it and knitted it as my Christmas socks, which I'm sure if you looked at my Vlogmas or stuff, or even Mondays, no, Saturdays live, I showed them on there. And then, so since then, I went on her Ravelry page and started looking at all her other socks. And I fell in love with these, which is why I wanted to do them for January because they used the minis. And there's a couple of other pairs that I fell in love with that might get knit through the year. And yeah, she does have some, and she's from, I think she's from Winnipeg. But it's nice to have a Canadian designer. Who are your favorite sock designers? I also love Ellie Jones of Craft House Magic. Her sock patterns are great. And I also love Kay Jones, who's not related, of the Bakery Bears. Her sock patterns are fabulous too. Those are the ones I typically tend to knit the most. And who else do I like? Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady has some nice socks. And oh, there was another lady that I knit. She's British too. I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Yeah, Crazy Sock Lady's good. She's got some good ones. Well, ladies, I think I'm going to go. We've been on here for nearly an hour and 17 minutes. And my tea is cold, so I need to go make another cup of tea. And I am going to catch up with the grocery girls, see what they've been up to over Christmas. And here is what I've got done so far. Sandra Paul, that's the other one. She does a lot of crochet though, doesn't she? There's what I've got done so far. Isn't that pretty? Where's my camera? The twirly twirlies. Look at the way that the yarn is speckly and lovely. There's that side and there's that side. Loving it. Loving it, loving it. So, yeah. I hope you have enjoyed today. And oh, you're very welcome. I love doing it. So, that's all good. And it's a good way to get, going. Verity Castledine, never heard of her. I'll have to check her out. There's one that Michelle thinks is a good designer. So, yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. It is, what time is it here? 11:20. So definitely time for a cup of tea and some shortbread biscuits. Yes. And yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will be back for some knitting in 2 weeks. That's just a regular podcast. And I will be still active on the Tobyknits and Friends Facebook group, so join that if you're not a member, and keep you up to date on some stuff there. And I'll be back next Wednesday, the 11th, for my first flush tube video of the year. So I'll see you then. Thanks for coming by. Bye.